30 meters below the Atlantic Ocean, a ship lay upside down, silent, lifeless. Inside the dark steel hull, 12 men were supposed to be dead. The storm had flipped the tugboat in seconds. Rescue teams assumed there were no survivors. For 3 days, the ocean pressed down on the wreck like a giant hand. Cold water filled every corridor. Bodies drifted in the darkness. But deep inside the ship, in a small bathroom, a man was still breathing. Daniel Carter was not a sailor. He was the cook on the Nigerian tugboat Jascon 4. 29 years old, quiet, responsible, the kind of man who stayed out of trouble and simply did his job. The crew had been working off the coast of Nigeria in May 2013. Routine operations, nothing unusual. But the ocean has a deceptive nature. That morning, the sea looked ordinary. The crew moved through their daily tasks. Daniel woke up early. He walked toward the bathroom. A normal morning. At least, that's what everyone thought, because within minutes, the ocean would turn the ship into a steel coffin, and 11 men would never come back. Without warning, a massive rogue wave slammed into the tugboat. The ship tilted violently. Then everything flipped. Imagine a building suddenly turning upside down. Furniture flew through the air, metal screamed, lights exploded into darkness. The crew had no time to react. Water rushed inside the vessel like a predator entering its cage. Inside the chaos, Daniel was thrown across the bathroom. His head struck the wall. The lights vanished. For a moment, he thought he was already dead. Then he felt something worse, cold seawater climbing up his legs. The ship was sinking, fast. In disasters like this, people often experience disorientation. Disorientation means losing your sense of direction, where nothing feels normal anymore. Up becomes down, left becomes right. Inside the capsized ship, Daniel had no idea where the exit was, but the water kept rising, and the darkness grew heavier. Somewhere inside the wreck, Daniel discovered something strange. Air. A small pocket of trapped oxygen had formed inside a bathroom compartment. Physics had accidentally saved him. When the ship flipped, air rose upward, becoming trapped inside the highest sections of the overturned vessel. The room filled halfway with water. Above it, a small bubble of life. Daniel climbed into that space. He could breathe. But survival came with a horrifying realization. He was trapped 30 meters underwater, completely alone, and surrounded by the dead. In that moment, Daniel felt claustrophobia. Claustrophobia is the intense fear of being trapped in a small or enclosed space. The darkness pressed against him like a closing fist. The ship groaned under the ocean's weight. Somewhere outside, the sea moved silently, but no one knew he was alive, and oxygen was slowly disappearing. Hours turned into a full day. Then another. Daniel searched the flooded compartments, swimming carefully through dark corridors. He found food, cans of tuna, and bottles of soda floating in the water. It wasn't comfort, it was survival. But the deeper he explored the ship, the worse it became. Dead bodies drifted in the corridors. Some were his friends. Some still wore their work uniforms. Fear moved through him like ice in his veins. But something else appeared too: desperation. Desperation means a state where someone is willing to do anything to survive. 3 days passed. The air pocket grew smaller. Oxygen dropped. Carbon dioxide filled the space. Daniel knew the truth. If no one came soon, he would suffocate, and the ocean would claim its final victim. Then something happened. A distant light flickered through the dark water. A diver. But the diver wasn't looking for survivors. He was collecting bodies. The diver entered the ship slowly. His flashlight moved across the wreck. Floating debris, collapsed walls, silent bodies. The diver assumed everyone inside was dead. Then he reached a corridor. Suddenly, a hand emerged from the darkness and grabbed him. The diver recoiled in shock. For a moment, both men stared at each other through the water. One expected a corpse. The other had been waiting 3 days to see a human face. Daniel Carter was alive. The rescue became complicated. Because the ship was deep underwater, Daniel's body had adjusted to the pressure. Bringing him to the surface too quickly could cause decompression sickness. Decompression sickness happens when pressure changes too quickly, creating dangerous gas bubbles in the body. Divers placed Daniel inside a pressurized chamber underwater, then slowly brought him back to the surface. For 3 days, he had survived inside a drowned ship, 30 meters below the ocean, in darkness, with the dead. And somehow, he walked away alive. Extreme survival situations reveal something powerful about the human mind. Psychologists call it resilience. Resilience means the ability to recover and keep going despite extreme hardship. Daniel's survival wasn't luck alone. It was patience, calm thinking, controlled fear. Many people panic when faced with death, but panic is like quicksand. The more you struggle without thinking, the faster you sink. Daniel adapted instead. He rationed air. He searched carefully. He waited. And waiting, sometimes, is the most difficult survival skill of all. Because hope, like oxygen, can slowly disappear in the dark. The ocean hides stories we rarely hear. Ships vanish, storms pass, lives disappear beneath silent water. But sometimes, the sea gives someone back. For 3 days, Daniel Carter sat inside a small air pocket in a sunken ship, listening to the ocean press against steel walls. Imagine that silence. Imagine that darkness. Most people would have given up, but survival often belongs to those who refuse to surrender, even when the world has already written their ending. Let's test your memory. Here are 5 advanced English words from the story. Disorientation, claustrophobia, desperation, decompression, resilience. Your challenge: write 1 sentence using at least 3 of these words in the comments. If you can do that correctly, your English is already moving toward an advanced level. If this story shocked you, pause for a second. Real survival stories like this remind us how fragile life can be. So if you enjoy true survival stories, real mysteries, and psychological documentaries, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because the next story might be even more disturbing, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.